Doors of cop sick. Everybody's coming in now. Hello, Kelvin.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Traffic again. God damn it. Too much traffic again. Yeah, well, it's gotten freaking crazy.
Charlie, you surprised me. I didn't know you were a Doctor Who fan.
Oh, I have been for years.
Yeah, well, it's there.
So was I.
All right, give me. Our speaker's not here, Charlie.
Yeah, I know he's not going to be able to make it because of the weather. He's 88 years old.
Okay.
He just sent me an email. I asked for his phone number, but I haven't gotten an answer yet. I thought we could do it by phone, but I'll let you know if he sends me an email.
So what are we gonna do then? Wing it tonight?
What?
What are we gonna do then? Wing it tonight? Because I got a presentation ready to go.
Yeah, how's the crowd in the restaurant?
There's 2 or 3 of us right now.
Oh, it's not too big.
No,
What do you want to talk about?
the present state of nuclear power and thorium.
Oh, jeez.
I could do that, or do you want to do something else?
Let's talk about Trump or something.
Well, let's go into Trump. Let me see if I can get a YouTube connection here on this thing.
How about an open
Yeah,
mic
what do we
since we
need
got
to
a couple of topics?
Sam,
Yeah.
Open mic.
we can debate atheism if you wish.
If you want to do
No,
that,
we'll save that for another night.
Okay.
so what do you want to do, Charlie? Hang on.
Open mic.
Okay. Open mic then.
Yeah, on the current events.
Give me a
Let's
minute.
see
I'm gonna see if I can get a damn link up here on this stuff. I don't know if I can or not, but here. All right, I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes before we get started then, okay? Anybody else logs in?
Yeah, all right.
We'll do an open mic then tonight. Who's got it? Okay. I'm pretty much current on Trump and everything else. So we're good. Just bear with me for a minute, okay?
Damn, I don't know if I like that setting.
What? What setting?
The David Ramsey Steel Club. Because it's too cozy. Plus, Justin just gets drunk. He gets louder. He just keeps on getting louder. Although he seemed kind of nice last night.
All right, we're gonna do it.
But I think.
All right, we're gonna go open mic then tonight. We'll go open mic tonight then. Everybody
showing up.
Huh?
This guy's not showing up.
He's not showing up. He says he's 88 years old and he says he can't make it in.
Sniffed us twice.
So nothing against Chad Koppie, but this is the second time he's had to cancel. Like, I don't blame him because his friend's son was in a plane crash last time. But you should let him know, since he's canceled twice, you should have him appear via phone or Zoom next time, just in case there are difficulties.
As soon as we get this.
There was another candidate, I believe, not Chad Koppie, in the accident.
My mistake.
That was the Republican Brady for governor.
Okay.
And we discussed it with him when he canceled the first time.
I'm gonna be right back, guys. I just gotta grab a goddamn smoke and I'll be ready to go. Yeah, I know. Give me a second. We'll go.
I think
I'll get you home.
A normal conversation, and all of a sudden he took something the wrong way.
Okay, taking you home. Okay. You might be cutting out early, so I think. All right, guys.
It's a good thing Mike Foley wasn't here. He was always not professional.
Yes.
He was an older guy. He would be looking through a lens of a magnifying glass.
Let me and Russell know if you want us to talk about Rasputin.
Talk about race food. Guy that was buddies with the Tsar. And then it's. Or the Tsarina.
Seeing how everybody seems to have announcements that aren't really announcements. There is a little thing I might
Poison, shot, stabbed, and drowned in the river.
people's attention to. There's been a recent study just been published in France. It's a 4-year study on the effects of the mRNA vaccine. The study involves 28 million people from 18 to 54. It's a very comprehensive study. It groups demographics and like with vaccinated and unvaccinated, and it has some results that's been on. It's not unsurprisingly, vaccinated people have a 75% more chance of surviving COVID than non-vaccinated, but also they have a 25% higher, 25% lower mortality rate than unvaccinated people. I don't know whether that's because unvaccinated people tend not to get medical problems sorted out, and vaccinated people are more likely to go to the doctor. But there is a 25% lower mortality rate in vaccinated people. It doesn't try and fudge any issues. It did notice there was a slight increase in myocardial conditions in vaccinated people, but it also noted that they had a very much higher percentage of survival percentage than in unvaccinated people. I am going to leave a note, a little link to where you can look this up in the chat. So you can, so everybody can.
Trump wants his face on a dollar coin.
All right. Tonight's tuition free, by the way. We're not collecting the 3 tonight because of the way things have been going. So
I have a good idea tonight.
what? Well, we're doing open mic.
Everybody, yeah.
We're doing open mic.
What's in the theme? Does everybody really think Trump in the Republicans?
Well, we can do
Good
that.
and bad.
Well, we're gonna open. Okay. You ready to get the meeting started, Charlie?
Just let the steam up.
Yeah, might as well get started.
Okay. I'm gonna host him here. Give me a second here.
I gotta take a call, but I'll be back.
All right. Okay. Welcome to the College of Complexes. My name is Tim. Tonight we were supposed to have Chad Koppie here, but because of the cold weather in Chicago, he couldn't make it in tonight. So we're going to revert to our ever standard open mic tonight. And our current topic or theme of our meeting is going to be current affairs. There's a few of us online, so between Charlie and Kelvin and about 3 of us here at the meeting, well, 4. So we will get right to it. Basically the format. It's where our speaker normally speaks. We'll have a whole bunch of people giving short mini presentations on what's going on. And then we'll have a question and answer period and perhaps maybe a final rebuttal or just leave it open. So with that, let's get started with the announcements as soon as I get the things up here. Charlie, go ahead and take away the announcements deal. I have to schedule up in a second here. Bear with me for a minute here, please. Okay, Charlie, I got the schedule up. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Okay,
Charlie.
welcome everyone to meeting number 3,848 of the College of Complexes, the playground for people who think. Now, although I am not a capitalist, I will give an advertisement for our upcoming schedule. Okay, on December 20th next week and the 27th, the College of Complex will be closed for the holidays. Happy holidays from the faculty and student body. That brings us into January 3rd. And Justin Tucker of the Libertarian Party of Chicago and Illinois is putting together a program. So wait and see. Check back. We'll see what he's comes up with. On January the 10th, we will have our 75th anniversary meeting. I'll give a short presentation of some of the people who made the college what it is, who are no longer with us. But basically, we'd like to open it up and say, has the college served any useful purpose? And if there's any memorable moments that you recollect or presentations that you found interesting. So has the college served any useful purpose towards solving the world's problems? And transitions then into January 17th. Dr. Daniel Hurley comes to us from the other college, and he'll be talking about marketing of medical supplements and do the terms on labeling, truth in labeling. They often contain the phrase truth prevents or supports an illness. And what exactly does that mean? January 17th. On January the 24th, we'll have a Democrat, Illinois State Representative Demi Palachek, who says she doesn't just talk about change. She wants to make it happen. That'll be on January the 24th. On January the 31st, Stanfield Smith, a longtime college presenter on Central and South American affairs. From what I understand, he's headed on a trip down there now. So the topic will be, is the U.S. going to war with Venezuela in the news? Okay, that's on January 31st. That brings us into February the 7th. We're having an activist, a former state representative from Iowa. He takes walks across America for change. We'll hear about his varied career in various social issues. Okay, that's about it. Tim, thank you. Take it away.
Hold on. All right, Charlie, no problem. All right, who wants to present first about our topic tonight? Charlie, why don't you lead us off and go ahead?
Well, maybe somebody else would like
Kelvin,
to.
Okay, I'll repeat what I just said.
All right, Kelvin, you got the time. Let me get you spotlighted and we'll go on.
I got a question for Kelvin.
Hello.
Okay, it's just a brief one. I was saying there has just been a study, it's a medical study released in France on the mRNA vaccine. It included 28 million people. So we're not talking about, my cousin's friend is a nurse, right? Well, they followed 22.7 million vaccinated adults and 5.9 million unvaccinated adults between 18 and 59. The median follow-up was 45 months, it's nearly 4 years. They matched groups on age, sex, region, and over 41 health conditions. They looked at hard endpoints such as all-cause mortality, COVID-related mortality, and long-term mortality trends. The findings: vaccinated people had a 74% lower risk of death from severe COVID-19, 25% lower risk of death from any cause.
Yes.
No increase in the mortality for 4 years after vaccination. Results held even after excluding COVID deaths. What that means, if vaccines were causing secret waves of heart attacks, cancers, turbo autoimmune disasters, we would absolutely see it here. Instead, vaccinated people, on average, lived longer. Authors did note that vaccinated groups had a slightly more cardiometabolic issues, yet they still had better outcomes. That is the opposite of healthier people bias. One of the strongest long-term safety signals ever conducted and released. The links in the comments section at the side of the I'll put it into the chat at the side of the screen there. So all of these things, we're all going to be dropping like flies because we got vaccinated. I think that is, you see, the conspiracy theorists amongst us will be very, very quick to jump upon anything that will support their cause. I think a 28 million people study over 4 years pretty much is the nail in the coffin of that argument. I'm willing to take questions.
All right, summarize that for me. So say that again.
No? No.
All right, summarize that for me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Faintly. Well, let me turn this up.
Can you hear me now?
Ah. Yeah.
Okay, simply summarize it simply in 2 sentences or less.
The French study of 28 million people said vaccines are not killing people, and they actually give you people who vaccinated have a lower mortality rate in other related issues.
Okay, that's great. Americans will still politicize this until they're dead. So I'm tired.
Just blame the French.
What's that?
Just blame the French.
Yeah, good. I want the French to, be the opposite of corrupt America. It's like a country that we can trust. I got a question for you, Calvin.
Go on.
What do they think of the American shit show? What do Europeans think? Or English?
You've got a, well, there is a section, and unfortunately it's a growing section in Britain called Reform, which is, they are basically the MAGA of the UK. They were the guys that were in favor of Brexit, etc. And they all they ever do is bang on about immigrants. But for the most part, we feel sorry for the fact that you got a cross between Quisling and Idi Amin.
Who?
Quisling and Idi Amin.
Oh, is that president?
Yeah.
I know the one. I know Idi Amin. Well, Trump is not murdered. Trump only
Quisling
murdered his wife and Epstein.
Quisling
Well,
was
I don't think he's
collaborator.
murdering everybody.
Quisling was a
Or he put a
Denmark.
hood on. He put a hit on them. Put it that way.
Quisling was the Danish prime minister under Nazi occupation.
All right, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So, what does England think of the shit show called America now?
Where it's
What term are you using?
Okay, Charlie,
What is
that's
it?
enough from you. Okay, interrupt.
No,
me.
what's this term?
Stop.
What's that
We don't want to
supposed
hear
mean?
from you right now.
No,
Calvin,
shit
what
show?
does everybody think of America now in England?
What that
it's-
shit
it's
show?
Okay,
all-
Charlie, I've heard enough from you.
I'll be very frank with you. I've got a lot of American friends, and I've always fancied going to see you guys, but not at the moment. I would be scared to go to your country at this moment in time.
Oh, we're scared. Yeah.
That's we I mean, at the moment, it must be like waking up for you guys. It must be like waking up with a hangover next to your crazy ex.
That might be okay.
No, the one that ruined your life the first time.
Your life or your wife?
No, the one that ruined your life. You wake up next to your crazy ex with a hangover and you think, what the fuck did I do last night?
Because my impression of the Europeans is like they don't give a flying rat's ass about what happens in America because America's pretty insignificant. It's only 5% of the world population. All we got here is nuclear bombs.
Yeah, unfortunately, people who are a little bit more clued up on world affairs know that if you sneeze, the rest of the world gets a cold.
Well, it shouldn't, because we're really insignificant.
But yours is if you go down in flames, then the whole military system goes down in flames. Greece can crash and burn. Iceland can crash and burn. Even if Germany crashed and burned, right? It's the military system will.
I don't think America's that significant in the world.
It's because all of the petrol, everything is the dollar is still.
Yeah, we use a lot of petrol here. That's yeah. We love oil here. We'll go to wars.
No, if you go up in flames, the cash machines stop working.
What's that?
If you go up in flames, ATMs stop working.
If who goes in flames?
America. The world economy collapses if you collapse.
I don't know. The Venezuelans are getting by fine, and they have nothing.
They've done a very, 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 very nice deal with China. 60% of their oil exports with China now.
Yeah, no. Venezuela's doing fine, especially the rich.
It's not actually. I had a very good friend who was Venezuelan, and he said the worst thing that ever happened to that country was Chavez.
It's for what?
Was Chavez. Hugo Chavez was the worst.
Yeah, I think he gets trash talked too much.
No, listen.
No, hold on. They got a dictator now called Maduro.
All right,
and he murders and he tortures.
I know it's anecdotal.
Thousands and thousands of people, and I don't think Chavez was known for that. He was more of a communist, just a straight up communist.
This is straight up my. I actually wrote a song together, right?
You what?
Ari and I, right? He was half Venezuelan, half Austrian.
My wife is Venezuelan.
So he had a European passport.
My wife is Venezuelan.
Yeah.
And she's political. So I've heard plenty of this for the last 25 years.
He had a European passport and he was drawing sickness benefits in the UK.
What's that?
My friend was drawing sickness benefits in the UK. It was on benefits in the UK. And he was sending money home to support his mother.
Yeah, that happens in America all the time. To Mexico, money being sent back to Mexico. See, my impression of Europe, which is a pretty healthy economy, the whole Western Europe,
Yeah.
is that we're kind of a backwater country now. We're looked on as something there's not much culture here, not much innovation except for smartphones. I mean, some medical, but I think we're kind of like a hillbilly country now. We really haven't done anything important. We've went into bad wars. We've wasted a lot of money on wars,
Yeah.
in oil wars. We hire a president here that could be pedophile, could be a rapist,
Yeah.
could be a murderer, could be a mobster. There's an old saying in America called, where there's a lot of smoke, there's usually some fire.
Yeah.
And I don't think a guy that has that on his resume should be in charge of this place.
Yeah.
We had a bad, Biden was bad. Kamala was dumb and woke. But so we just ended up with Trump again. It was just a shame.
Well, if Kamala was that bad, why did Donald Trump contribute to a DA campaign in California?
Say that again. If Kamala was
Donald Trump contributed towards a campaign for DA in California.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, he's got money to,
I mean, on one hand,
goes around pennies like
on one hand, he's saying she's incompetent, etc. He contributed towards her campaign. She was a successful prosecutor.
Yeah, I mean that's why I voted for it, because America is getting too criminal and too corrupt. It's been a criminal and corrupt country, and I thought, well, maybe she'd be more law and order, because Sleepy Joe, Genocide Joe was not going to get anything done. He had really bad people on his staff. So I kind of voted.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name?
Yeah.
Bill.
Bill. Yeah.
Tim calls me Bill.
I don't know, Bill, when, everybody called Joe Biden, but you were leading the G7 nations.
What's that?
You were leading the G7 nations in growth. You managed to combat inflation and reduce unemployment.
Yeah, he did that. That was like his first year or two, and I think he did a nice job of that. He built up the railroad, the Amtrak. He built the.
I cannot think of any other administration ever that has reduced unemployment and inflation at the same time.
He did that in his first 2 years, and then he lost it. He was okay for his first year or two, and then he just he got snookered into a war with Netanyahu. That, a forever war that we're going to have to pay for, that we already did pay for. And then, so Genocide Joe, I'm not impressed with. He got us into a Russian war. He should have been negotiating between Russia and Ukraine and handled it that way rather than flinging bombs around. So Genocide Joe kind of really blew it his last 2 years. And then when he appointed Kamala and the Disco Girls, nobody wants that. See, everybody forgets that America's 75% white. And a lot of these bad geographers and stuff like that say that we're going to turn into a black country or a Latin American country. No, it's a solid 75% white. So guess what? 75.
I'm not sure on that demographic, Bill. I'm just going to look it up.
What's that?
I'm not sure on your demographic there.
What's that?
I'm not sure about those figures.
Trust me. You can trust me. I know the statistics. Okay, Charlie, we've heard enough from you.
No, hey, don't you tell me to shut up. I can ask questions.
I can tell you to shut up. You don't.
No.
You don't want to have this club continue.
Bill, I just Googled it.
75% of America is what? Okay.
Bill, I've just googled this, and as the latest
Who do you think white
American
people are going to
Community
vote
Survey
for?
conducted by the U.S.
They're
Census
going to vote for
in
a
2024, an estimated 59.8, so called 60% of the U.S. population is
60,
identified as
70,
white.
whatever.
So it's not 75, it's 60.
What, you're splitting hairs.
Well,
Anyway, we're a very racist country.
yeah,
Which is this beautiful stuff you want to hear about America, and Trump tells all the Americans how wonderful we are. Yeah, there's a lot of nice Americans, but there's a lot of criminals there too, and dumb people.
Well, America kind of hated black people that much, otherwise you wouldn't have bought that many.
Wait, you're talking too fast. What?
America can't hate black people that much, otherwise you wouldn't have bought that many of them.
It bought them from the Europeans?
No, from Africa.
Well, we needed the labor, the free labor.
I know you can't have hated them that much, otherwise.
But no, we didn't need it. Europeans wanted to make some money, and the African warlords wanted to make some money.
Calvin, it wasn't we that brought them over here. It was his people that brought them over here.
The Europeans brought them. Russ is correct. And it was African warlords that made them prisoners. And they said, hey, we got boatloads of prisoners out here in Africa. Can we sell them to you? But you never hear that in America media, do you? So, but we get blamed. Russ and I get blamed for being racist. Dan gets blamed for being racist. Tim gets blamed for being racist.
Yeah, but the fact is, Bill, that you continued on with slavery right up until the 1860s, when every other major Western power had gotten rid of the idea. Right?
They got rid of what idea?
Generations.
Wait, hold on.
The UK stopped slavery around about 1800, and it was completely gone by 1830. Right? You were the last Western power to get rid of slavery.
Brazil, 1889. Brazil, 1889.
What about Brazil in 1889?
I said Western power. We're not talking about Brazil. Crying out loud.
You know how many black people are in Europe?
Quite a lot.
No. What'd you say?
Quite a lot. Well, quite a lot where I live, anyway.
No. Listen, don't blame me on not getting the statistics right. I check my statistics. Europe is mostly 1% black. Okay.
Well, I can only speak for the. I can only speak.
Maybe.
Well, I can only speak for the UK. I can only speak for the UK, and we have a very high percentage of Afro-Caribbean.
Maybe
and certainly in my neighborhood, we have a high percentage of African as well.
Do your homework. Do your research. Only France is like only France is 8 or 10% black.
Anyway, so Europe and African warlords are to blame.
Okay, I'm going to go next. I've actually got a talk prepared.
I'm a southerner.
And we're going to go. It's going to be out here. All right.
North Carolina.
No, we got some good stuff coming.
The right wing in Europe are all.
All right.
Of course. They don't know anything.
Like in France.
Hey, Tim,
Yes.
I have Chad's phone number. You want to give him a call?
Who? You have us call him and see if he wants to speak. I'll go next.
Well, you can call him directly.
All right.
Bag of last
Does somebody else want to go while I call Chad Koppie? Text it, put it in the chat, Charlie. I'll call him. Somebody else. Go ahead, Joe.
So is my audio all right, first of all?
Yeah, your audio's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see the number, Charlie.
Europe is 2%.
So what I want to talk about is Cash Jackson. Cash Jackson ran for governor as a libertarian in 2018, and he ran on basically what people could call a father's rights platform. And that's associated with misogyny. So he tried to kind of not talk about that issue, but really it's a parental rights issue. What he was protesting was the fact that so Social Security Title 4D is family courts and child support. And Cash observed that Illinois charges more, about 20% more than the national average by state in terms of collecting child support from fathers. And what happened to Cash Jackson is basically he had a guardian ad litem for his kids, charge him $15,000 to talk to his kids twice on the phone. So Cash Jackson was made to look like a deadbeat dad who was wasting his money and not paying to support his kids when he had to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars just to speak to them, thousands in lawyers' fees. So his lawyers, his wife's lawyers, and the court system were gouging him for money to make him look like he couldn't afford to take care of his kids. And he eventually was jailed because all these judges, including Alan Joseph Salvi, were conspiring to take away his kids or take away his custody of his kids. He was never accused of abuse. The worst thing he was accused of is making his kid stack bricks in the snow for a few minutes as a punishment for not leaving the toilet seat down in a house where women were present. So like, this guy is not the racist, woman hater that he was painted to be. This guy, Jordan Klepper, who used to be on The Daily Show, did a hit piece against him where he made fun of his name and called him a human belt buckle. And, Cash Jackson's a good guy. And his wife's lawyer actually defended a child molester who was a pastor. So that lawyer's name was Raymond Bolt. There's a lot of really creepy people, including friends of my father, who I've mentioned before, abused me as a kid. There's a lot of really creepy people running the family court system up in Lake County, Illinois. And basically the federal government bribes states to go after parents who are delinquent on child support payments by saying, we'll give you federal matching funds to go after those parents. And because of the higher cost of living in Illinois, it effectively amounts to like any parent who gets partial custody of their kids and then moves to Illinois just gets gouged of their money. And it really amounts to a legalized child trafficking system. So if anyone has any questions about court system, the family court system, Cash Jackson and others, including this guy named LaShawn K. Ford, an Illinois legislator who's a black Democrat, they were trying to get this law passed, 50-50 parental custody automatically in cases where neither parent was accused of abuse. And instead of having that 50-50 law, we have a family court system where judges and lawyers decide who gets custody of the kids instead of the parents making those decisions between themselves. So that's all I wanted to say about that for now. Thanks.
Hey, who's next? Who's next? Chad, am I here? Let me call you back, okay?
All right, I'll go.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, it's a few things that are, first of all, Mike Lehman, you can answer sometime in the later. I would like to know what newspapers or magazines online you subscribe to. What are your sources of information?
I don't pay
Do you have any paid? Let me finish, please. Do you have any paid subscriptions to publications? Because your information is hopelessly ridiculous. There's everyone in the current discussion of international affairs has been that there is a three-part division of the economies between China, Europe, and the United States. And they're about parity among the gross national product of those three economies are about equal, with a little edge to China. And to come up with things to say that nobody cares about the American economy. The American economy right now is going gangbusters on these AI data centers,
And amps.
and they're going to control. They're going to control the dollar is still the economic standard of the world. It is, and it remains that way. And there's no challenges. Brazil and a few countries are trying to, but that dissipated. So to say that the United States is insignificant, you have no statistics or data, at least that I've seen, that would support that. But you toss these things out there and you seem to trumpet them as if they're factual, when I doubt very much that you rely on valid information. Another thing in the news that caught my eye was that there's an outbreak of measles, serious, something like 700 cases in Texas in different locations, or 47 locations.
I'm in South Carolina.
Gentlemen said about vaccinations is valid. These illnesses, I should say, and I'm not authority on this, pose a problem for senior citizens. So it's not simply to be say, well, this means more children get sick. No, they transmit it to the nuclear and extended family members. So that's what I mean. Grandparents interact with children, and this is a serious issue. We have a mental case in charge of the CDC. I think he's imbalanced. He says the cure for measles is cod liver oil, which is ridiculous. Like that. But nevertheless, there are three economies right now shaping the world's events, and they're on parity for the most part. You know, the United States is going overwhelmingly into this AI technology, and the other countries perhaps maybe a little bit out of China. This is the problem with Europe. Europe has no tech industries. This is where Europe is falling behind. Only one of the top 10 tech companies is situated in Europe. So they're relying on old technology, and they're going to be left behind. That is the only valid criticism of Europe in this regard. Anyhow, I really would like to know, what are your sources of information? What is your major source of information? All right, that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Just a thing, Charlie, it's not just Texas. There's a big outbreak in South Carolina as well.
South Carolina.
Won't be.
Yeah, we're a backward country. We're a hit country. Thanks, Umaga.
Give me a second here, please.
I don't know who.
All right, who's next?
Country.
Yes, I'm gonna go then. Bear with me for a minute.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay.
Genocide Joe. Later. We got caught with
This genocide is just name calling. Mike, just name calling. Is that all you can do?
What's that?
Just
You
name calling.
keep
Is that all
saying
you can-
genocide Joe. 10 times I've heard it.
Genocide.
It's name calling. Stupid Trump name calling.
Well, he didn't. Biden didn't tell Netanyahu to stop the genocide against Gaza. So
We
that's why
don't
they-
need name calling. It's not political
Okay.
science.
Well, I'm not name calling. I'm explaining the reason for the name.
Well, he does.
He supported a genocide in Gaza.
We've heard it 10 times. He keeps getting it, and
Anyway,
it's stupid name calling.
You were covering up for Genocide Joe.
If you guys are done arguing, I got a little presentation myself to do.
What about our speaker?
He declined, Charlie.
Oh,
Declined. I called him and he declined. He wasn't ready. Okay.
okay.
All right. Folks, the evidence is in. And this is not about politics. This is about accountability, about our President Trump. You see, facts matters, evidence matters, and truth matters. This is not about feelings. This is about what happened. In America, no one is above the law. Not billionaires, not presidents, not count of personalities.
Yes.
The first count, a campaign of lies against democracy. There's been free from Mr. Trump, there's been repeated false claims of election fraud. Dozens of court cases lost. Judges appointed by Republicans and Democrats rejecting claims. This wasn't confusion. It was a strategy. Lies repeated do not become truth. They become poison. The second count, abuse of power for personal gain. Trump has been known with his mob style. When his director, Jim Comey, left office, he said it started reminding him of cases he pursued when he was going against the mob. The mob style of what Trump does. He intimidates people, and then he demands a cut or a kickback to get his stuff off. He's been continually pressuring officials, threatening consequences for truth tellers in his administration, demanding loyalty to him over the Constitution. Power that serves itself will always betray the people. Trump is, if you go and you praise Trump and you coddle his ego and give him a little cash, you'll get what you want. If he comes to you and threatens you because you're going against him, watch out, because he's trying to extract a bribe or a price, which is exactly what's happened in a lot of other cases. The third count, obstruction and intimidation. He's been attacking judges. He's been smearing juries. He's been threatening prosecutors and witnesses. And this is what authoritarians do when the evidence closes in. When truth knocks, corruption tries to silence the door. Let's look at January 6th. Its cause, effects, and responsibility. The thing is, in step by step, Trump said he won the election. Trump mustered his people to the rally, and then he refused to intervene. Words from leaders carry moral and legal weight. This was not free speech. It was reckless incitement. A nation cannot survive leaders who will light fires and then walk away. He uses something called the witch hunt defense, and it collapses under evidence. You see, the thing is, when you have claims in multiple jurisdictions of fraud, and he's lost about 95% of his court cases, you have career prosecutors being fired, you have grand juries refusing to indict, and then you have evidence reviewed by judges that turn down his claims. That's not persecution. When you have all that happen, that's not law, that's persecution. If accountability feels like oppression, it is because privilege is being challenged. Let's take a look at the contradictions. He's been calling for jailing his opponents. He claims immunity for himself and his cronies, and he pardons people he likes.
Yeah, criminals.
Tyranny begins with exceptions for the powerful. The Constitution does not yield to one man's ego. Institutions matter. Trump is always calling out opposition as fake news. And he's delegitimizing courts to avoid the consequences. When leaders attack referees, it's because they know they're losing. Truth does not fear examination. Lies do. The long-term consequences of this is an erosion of trust, cynicism, and an authoritarian drift. This is about precedent and what happens when we go authoritarian. He's playing by the same playbook that every authoritarian does, whether it be Hitler, Mussolini, Mao Zedong, or anybody else.
Roosevelt.
No, oh yeah, Roosevelt. My God, you're crazy. Roosevelt did it. Well, I don't want to go there.
Yes.
What we excuse today becomes the rule tomorrow. This is not about one man, about Trump. It's about the system. Democracy survives on rules, not personalities. Nations fall when people stop believing the rules apply. If the system fails here, it fails everywhere. I'd like to ask you, are you loyal to facts or your tribes? Are you loyal to MAGA or are you loyal to the facts? Are you loyal to the law or are you loyal to power? The greatest moral failure is defending what we know is wrong. The point of the matter is, if you agree with me, first thing you're going to do is vote and get these clowns out of office. The second thing you're going to do is hopefully you'll speak to people about Trump's disclaimers and his problems that he's having in office and point out the hypocrisy that this administration so much likes to scream about. And emphasize, democracy is participatory. Democracy does not defend itself, people do. The verdict is ours. Trump has lied. He's had abuse of power. He's gotten obstruction in here, and he's done it incitement of rebellion. And truth is not partisan. The law is not optional, and democracy is worth defending. The evidence is in. History is watching. And we need to get rid of this idiot as president. Thank you. All right, who's next? Who's next? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going. There's nothing bad. So far, one of died and the Democrats took out their. Microphone.
Yes, it's on.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm not going to speak about politics or economics too much because I don't know that stuff. But I know a little bit about farming and soil. So a few days ago, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kennedy, and Brooke Durbin or something is the Secretary of Agriculture. They signed $1 billion law called Sustainable Farming Help for Farmers in the USA, which is kind of odd because the chemical companies and ADM and Syngenta are all still in business. So I'm not sure what the government's going to use that money for. Maybe for some new. It was announced actually for the Soil Conservation Service, NCRS, National Conservation Recycling Service or something. So that's a good idea. $1 billion might go some way. I'm still connected to the Wild Onion store. And if you want to buy some good food, go there. It's on the north side of Chicago, close to Evanston on Clark. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay.
How do you feel about the 40% tariff that the present administration has put on Canadian potash?
On On
Canadian
what?
potash.
Canadian potash. I think he's trying to squeeze too much money out of from the tariffs. It doesn't really help, I don't think. It stops business from happening. And China has to be a good customer, and America has to be a good customer of China. There has to be trade, and Trump is not promoting trade. He's just promoting dollars coming in from the tariffs, but that takes away from the dollars coming in from the trade. So no, I think it's a bad idea for potash. Potash is they think potassium or
Yeah,
some fertilizer comes out of potash. Is that right?
yeah.
Might be potassium.
Green Gold, Georgia. Yeah. Food,
Okay.
all made in America.
Okay, Charlie, you just put up a
Dan, we only get.
chat on
For 15% of our product.
about a blueprint for federal officials and how to implement national security order, presidential memorandum 7. Would you like to chat with us about it for a
It's
little
not
bit?
that big of it. It doesn't bother me. The tariffs.
Charlie,
I think they bother me.
he's on. Okay, who else would like to go?
Yeah, all right.
All right, go ahead, Charlie.
I sent this out during the week. The president has issued a national security memorandum. Mike, please be quiet. No, curb your name calling for a while. Reason I don't like name calling, it kind of dumbs down the college. But anyhow, the president has issued an executive order. This is a formal action of government that he has instructed the DOJ to identify those organizations that openly advocate socialism. What he intends to do to those organizations remains unclear, but apparently wants them prosecuted in some fashion. Whereas socialism is very often the topic at the college complexes, this goes, I think, to the heart and of our organization. Of course, we have those who vehemently oppose it and speak out against it and are entitled to do so. However, we have been identified, I think would be easily be identified on that list as an open forum for discussion of socialistic ideas. This is most alarming. We've heard from Tim a number of things that Trump has done, and very accurately, but he is using the Department of Justice to go after, let's use the terminology, to go after those entities whom he does not concur. Now, apparently, I don't know anywhere that the United States has adopted a policy that we are a pro-capitalist country and socialism is not to be discussed or implemented in any fashion. It is a very popular concept these days, particularly in light of what is going on in Europe. And they use the term European socialism. I had some emails during the week that we embody many of the implements of aspects of socialism in our government. Also, it seems to be a common feature when they inquired as to Trump voters, what reason they voted for Trump, very often they said was to stop socialism. Now, we talk about these concepts here at the college and somewhat of a futuristic thing, how realistic these plans and projects are ever going to materialize. But apparently these people are convinced that there is a threat to the very fabric of our nation. by those who advocate a political point of view, a political policy. When you begin putting executive orders are very significant because they are directives to the federal agencies to take action in that regard. I put the link in the chat for those of you online if you want to look at it later. But this is crossing the line. When you're now, one of the worst things we've seen already, it was always my understanding that the military forces of the United States were to be used for foreign wars, for foreign threats to our nation, and were not to be used against the domestic population. That came up, the issue came up years ago on the war on drugs. Because they said, well, we're using the military to curb this thing. But now you have a military presence right in our communities. There were federal officials apprehending citizens right in my neighborhood, right up the block. And this is a serious matter here. So we look kind of quietly and we say, well, he's just rounding up people who are breaking the law. Isn't that what government is supposed to do? And you have the federal presence in the, now there's, you could go back and you pundits to look in history. How many times has the federal government stepped in certain situations, such as in Little Rock, Arkansas? I was down there in Little Rock, where the government under Eisenhower obviously was enforcing the laws of the United States. We've heard Ernie say, well, you know, he cites the example like that Trump can either, when he's using the military, is he the appropriate use of the military, the United States, whether it be National Guard or uniformed security people. There's numerous agencies of the federal government in uniform who have law enforcement, and I think sets a very dangerous precedent. But if he's identifying people, are we engaging in other McCarthyism here? Or what is his intent in doing this? Obviously, he wants to do something in response to people who believe that socialism is a very real threat to our nation. And socialists should, in fact, for some reason, needlessly be closed or operating any of those organizations. Now, we do not overtly use the term political terms in our name. However, it is, anybody who would examine the record would see that we have, in fact, discussed topics on the left. That's all I will say about this at the time. I'll leave it up to you guys to think about it. Thank you.
Next.
Charlie, if I could just add one
Nice being here tonight. Thanks for all you guys coming out. Is somebody talking?
Calvin was going to
Yeah,
ask.
I was just going to add to what Charlie said. About
Okay, you can ask a question.
Yeah, well, I just want to add about troops on the streets. Having lived through the troubles in Northern Ireland, and I didn't serve in the military, but a lot of my school friends did, and a lot of them served in Northern Ireland, and every one of them said the very last thing that you ever want to do is put soldiers on the streets of your own country. It is a recipe for atrocities and disaster. Soldiers are there to fight wars. They are not there to police the streets.
We have 2 soldiers in the audience tonight.
You do not want them on the streets of your own country.
You hear that, Tim and Russ? We do not want you on the streets.
I'm a soldier in the war on drugs.
You don't want me on.
Joe, are you a soldier?
It's a
in the war
soldier.
on drugs. I fought on the side of drugs in the war on drugs.
Drugs won the drug war. All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to review the things that really irk people about Republicans and Trump.
Go ahead. You got
And some of the things that shouldn't be irking people. Oh, Tim's getting the smoke, so he ain't going to pay it. He ain't going to watch.
Just start.
Right, the tariffs are not a big deal. I mean, 90% of the products in this country are made here.
No.
Okay, prove that to me.
Look, you buy a car from Detroit. Where do you think the steel comes from? Where do you think?
Northern Indiana, 99%
you fly in a Boeing.
99% of the steel.
You fly in a
99% of the steel in this country comes from Northern Indiana.
The electronics were made in Germany. The wings were. Another part was made in Japan. This is not. It's not. When you say 90%, no. Even who made your television? Who made your phone? Who made your computer? Do you think they were made? That shirt that you're wearing. Do you think that was made in the USA?
Yeah, a lot of it is made in the USA.
Really? Next time you go, when you sit down,
all our food is made in.
Even those MAGA hats are made.
All our food is made in the USA.
Even those flags and the MAGA hats that Trump sells as marketing is made in China.
Mike, they tried to find out for automobiles used by the United States government employees, and they wanted to say use only American-made cars, and they couldn't find one of them that was entirely.
Okay, what is your definition?
They could not find one car that was entirely made in the United States.
What's your definition of made? Assembled? Still stamping. Ford's biggest stamping plant is in Chicago that makes body parts. Steel.
And the engine is made in Mexico.
Okay, maybe some engines are made in Mexico.
The government, I'm telling you.
You're talking about one industry, cars. I only buy a car every 25 years.
Fleet management.
You buy a phone every 2 years.
Could not find
a
made car.
You buy a phone every 2 or 3 years.
No, this one's going to last me 5 years. I'm convinced.
Right.
Anyway, most of the products in America are made here.
Yeah, the house where you live, the timber came from Canada.
No, a lot of wood comes from America. These chairs in this room are made in America.
The food that you eat, the potash that helps grow that food, even if it's grown in America, comes from Canada.
The what?
The fertilizer that helped that product grow came from Canada.
Big deal. That's 25%
those tariffs are immediately affecting inflation.
Mike, have you ever seen intermodal container port, the port of New Jersey? Or
yeah, it's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of Dollar Tree stuff.
Do you know the magnitude of the shipping that is coming?
I got a homework project for.
You don't know anything. Wait a minute.
No, hold on. I got a homework.
1,000 shipping containers every day.
Okay. You look up GNP. Do you know what that stands for?
Gross national product.
Gross national product. And then you go into AI, which you think is so wonderful, or Google search, and go, what percentage of GDP or GNP, there's a difference, is made in America? And you'll see that it's 85% of our gross national product comes from America. All the food, do you eat every day? Okay, 95% of the food you eat every day is made in America. I don't know about potash. Maybe, a couple percent potash. I hope there's no potash in that milkshake. Anyway,
and it was harvested by undocumented immigrants.
Yes, we love our immigrants. Well, some of us like immigrants, but it was
Mike,
farmed
can
by
I ask you a question? So, Mike, you're explaining why tariffs aren't that bad. Could you explain?
Not really. a
Could you
couple
explain?
percentages.
Could you explain why you think they're good or necessary?
Oh, I know what Trump's thinking because I was in manufacturing for 20 years, and he's thinking that he wants to bring back the old industries, the metalworking and the manufacturing and products being made here in factories.
Mike,
And,
Mike,
America is a service. America turned into a service economy, which is kind of, so we got a bunch of kids walking around with smartphones all day. So it is kind of disgusting.
Michael,
So I'm kind of in favor of bringing back real industries. So
Mike,
I don't mind it.
only 10% of manufacturing is only 10% of the U.S. economy.
Okay.
Only 10%.
11% of what U.S. consumers purchased is produced in the United States.
Only.
See what it says.
That's what I'm quoting you right now. This is a broad estimate used by economists and industry analysts to capture total domestic production share.
11% of what GDP is?
Of what Americans buy. Now, you may be neglecting capital markets and
all the shifting money around.
That's where most of our stuff goes.
Yeah. And maybe that's a good thing that we get out of the service. The financial
industry hasn't helped anybody out except for a bunch of stockbrokers and bankers. So maybe it is good.
If you look only at the manufactured goods market, U.S. producers will supply a majority, around 69% of the domestic market, which the rest supplied by imports. Clothing, only about 2 or 3% of the clothing is made domestically. Shoes, roughly 1% of them are made here. Personal care products, under 10%, are made in the U.S. Some durable goods and industrial products have a higher domestic share, but there's a wide variation depending on the industry. Decades ago, a much larger share of consumer goods was made in the U.S. In the 1980s, for example, about 70 to 80% of many products like clothing were domestically produced. That has fallen over time. It's just
how much you spend on clothing every year? I probably spend less than.
There's a lot of people who do,
$50.
but only 2 or 3%
not a lot.
made here.
Some.
Oh, look! Well, you're neglecting what women do and how much they spend on
they
fashion.
spend too much money on clothing.
Well, the thing is, only 2 or 3% is made of it here. The rest comes from third world countries, and they're shipped by container.
Oh, so maybe Trump wants to bring back the shoe factories.
You're much better off with free trade, Mike, than you are with this bullshit tariffs. I'll do something on it for you a little later on, but you're crazy. I'm sorry, you're just crazy.
What do you buy the most of every day?
Me, it's mostly food, mostly
and gasoline.
Gasoline, yes.
Yeah. So you probably spend $50 in smokes. Those are made here. So you probably spend $50 a day on smokes, gasoline.
Well, Mike, that still doesn't negate the thing. You see, the thing is that
and a lot of other people are like that
free
too.
Trade benefits everybody. And the thing is, what you're talking about, Charlie is absolutely right. Your whole thing about tariffs is wrong. I mean, even never mind. I don't want to get into it, but you're just plain wrong about the economy of the United States.
Tariffs are that big of a deal.
Oh yeah, oh really?
Well,
yeah, but why are they good?
What has gone up in
Why
prices?
are they good, Mike?
What has gone up in prices?
Lots of stuff.
Like what?
Groceries, for one thing. Restaurant meal.
Prices are exactly the same as they were pre-COVID here in this restaurant. Yes, they are. He's got the same specials for Saturday. Well, everything's Mike, about the same price here.
No, it's not.
I go to Panda once in a while. It hasn't changed a whole lot.
Well, that's...
Cars have went up because they're a ripoff anyway. People use cars to vote.
Well, I think you're sadly mistaken. You might see it in your own life, but I'll tell you, a lot of people don't. Go to Jewel, for example.
I see Jewel every day or every other day.
They've gone up in price, groceries have.
What? Eggs were $2.99 a couple.
Coffee, for example, is one thing.
What?
That was coffee is,
Oh, coffee's a complete ripoff. You have to really shop for it. I don't buy ripoffs.
Why is that? Because of tariffs, the 50% tariff Trump put on it.
I don't think so. I think they're just taking advantage of the, what the market will bear.
Of course, that's how businesses work.
Yeah.
What the market will bear.
Yes.
So I'll go to Aldi and I'll go to Dollar Tree and buy coffee, and all coffee pretty much tastes the same. I don't care what Starbucks says; it's not that different.
Do you have any
Okay,
information?
coffee's one thing. You use like 4 spoons of it every day.
There's a basic maxim, right? And it goes like this: empires in ascent build roads, empires in decline build walls, and tariff is a wall.
That's right. A tariff is a wall. You want to know what tariffs do, Mike?
What? What's one up?
Walls make good neighbors.
What's one up in price?
Give me a minute.
Crap
For
from
10%
China?
of the economy, we're all going to pay the price, higher prices. Everyone is going to have to pay higher prices for a lousy 10% of the economy.
The things that bother me about Trump and Republicans is we're going to go $5 trillion in debt for tax breaks because he did that 10 years ago. The same damn thing. That's what bothers me about Republicans. They lie about borrowing money.
Are you in favor of a centrally planned economy?
No. Is that communist? That's socialism, right?
No, I said, are you in favor of a centrally planned economy? The government of the United States is trying to realign the economy. It's
You know,
clear.
Mike, if you really look at it,
I haven't noticed that. I mean, they're working on transportation like a little bit.
food and beverages.
I like Duffy. I heard him speak. I like this guy sounds really
All right. Food and beverages, grocery prices, food at home have risen nearly 30% since February 2020. Specific items like beef and veal up 45.2% over 5 years. Coffee and sugar have seen some particularly sharp increases. Dining out at restaurants and fast food establishments has also become
fast food.
significantly more
Fast
expensive.
food's been a rip-off.
Let's food and utilities, just a category which includes gasoline, electricity, and natural gas. We've seen price increases.
Gas is coming down, right, Russ?
Have seen price increases over 28% in the last 5 years.
What's that?
Over 28% in the last 5 years.
Ice cream?
No, gas. The average American household utility bill has risen with large jumps in the cost of water, sewage, and garbage collection. Look at housing and shelter. Both
housing always is a rip-off.
Both home prices and rent have increased substantially. The median home in the U.S. has risen significantly since 2020.
$10,000 house 50 years ago. $500,000.
Transportation, used cars and trucks, car maintenance and insurance.
I bought the Fiat for $5,000.
Travel, healthcare services have gone up. Childcare, entertainment and recreation, household products. Overall, most consumer expenditures have cost roughly 25 to 30% more than they did 5 years ago. So you're full of shit. You're talking like a Republican.
I don't
You're
think he's
talking like a Republican.
He hasn't put tariffs on everything. He's put tariffs on what?
More of a managed economy, you're going to see more price increases. The rise in healthcare is mostly due to Obamacare.
Why is that?
No, it's not Obamacare. It's because our corporation. It's because we spend more in administrative fees than any other country that gives you healthcare. We're the only country in the world that has this kind of healthcare system, and we're the only country in the world that doesn't guarantee basic healthcare benefits to our citizenry.
Well, they want corporations want profits.
Corporations want profits, and they're gouging the government and the American consumer. And the thing is that it's not provided properly. I'm sorry, but you're crazy.
I agreed with you. I said, yeah, healthcare is about profits.
Things have gone up. The economy, inflation's up.
My bus ticket is still $2 every trip.
No, it's not.
$2.50.
Anyway,
it's not. People they don't need to know. Anyway, so okay, it's not that big of a deal. Can we agree on that? I mean, we just got out of a pandemic a few years ago. We're in a bunch of wars. We're spending trillions on wars again. So, I don't think that. I think the biggest issues are bailing out billionaires and the super rich and using the U.S. credit card.
You know,
Now,
Kerry,
Trump is an asshole, no question. He's a jerk. He could probably is a mobster. I mean, if he's in the casino and construction business, he's probably a mobster. And probably killed his wife. Nobody falls down spiral staircases. It's physically impossible.
Can I jump in? The
go
thing
ahead,
is,
John.
though, tariffs function as a bailout for the billionaires, just only the American billionaires. How would you respond to the charge that tariffs function as a bailout for American domestic enterprises? Shouldn't people be able to choose between foreign or domestic goods without having the government rig the market and change prices? I agree with Tim that free trade benefits all. I'm against tariffs. Go ahead, though.
Well, it really benefited Walmart and the Japanese or the Chinese because they got all that business, and then the American corporations. I lost 2 jobs to China. No, one to Japan and one to China when I was in manufacturing. So companies, what the hell? Why pay an American $40,000-$50,000 a year, and they can get away with $10,000 a year less in China or Japan at a time. So all those corporations moved all their factories and all their administration and stuff like that.
Okay, we haven't heard from Jake yet. Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
He fell asleep.
No, he's
All
here.
right. So
You got on mute, Jake.
Hi.
Jake,
Okay.
not Calvin.
Okay. I'm entirely in agreement with you. We have to bring manufacturing here back to the United States, but tariffs aren't the way to do it. Tariffs don't bring manufacturing jobs back here. All they do is they make it harder. They make it harder for products to be imported from other countries, but that doesn't bring manufacturing back here. I'll give you an example. The automobile industry relies heavily on car requires several hundred parts in order to make, right? Well, there are parts that are produced in China which are shipped here, which the auto industry relies on in order to make a car. They're assembled here in Detroit and other places. But the point is, if you put high tariffs on Chinese products, it means these parts that are manufactured in China are shipped here. The auto manufacturers have to pay higher prices for the parts, and so guess what they do? They see the tariffs as the auto manufacturers see the tariffs as an added cost. So what do? They just pass on the cost to consumers, and it becomes very inflationary. It doesn't help the process at all. What's needed, if you go back to the Roosevelt era, I think it was 1936 or somewhere around there, Roosevelt pushed through Congress the Industrial Policy Act. And I don't know the specifics, but we have to look at that. It's probably highly outdated because of changes in technology, but we need to use that as a blueprint, as a way of getting manufacturing back here. It's not going to happen.
Is that protectionism? Is that what they call protectionism?
No, what protectionism? Wait. Tariffs are protectionism.
No,
tariffs are protectionism.
Protectionism.
Right. Tariffs are protectionism. Tariffs are protectionism. We're saying. I remember back when the debate was when the NAFTA was first being debated. George Bush Sr. said to the car companies, I think he said to the auto manufacturers, we gave you protectionism, and all you did was raise your prices. That's why he was opposed to protectionism. That's why he tried to push through Congress on NAFTA. And there was all this boo-ha-ha. A lot of the unions were opposed to it, and a lot of the consumer groups were opposed to it. And finally, it was Bill Clinton who pushed it through Congress. But that's not what caused. NAFTA is not what forced the industrial jobs out of the country. That's a total misreading of what happened. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that.
I
All
agree
right.
with Jake completely. This tariffs policy puts the cart before the horse. If American producers don't have an American domestically made products to choose from as an alternative to foreign produced ones, like tariffs are not going to be affordable until we establish industry here.
Buy a
And
Rivian.
I
It's
agree
made
with
in
Jake.
Illinois.
Can I just say,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Councilman Trump.
you are missing the obvious here, right? All this talk about tariffs being a thought out economic policy would be valid if Trump's tariffs were not so arbitrary and so volatile, right? And they would, they put a tariff on an island that only has snow and penguins, right? Come on.
How are we going to pay for these tax cuts?
The immediate beneficiary of Trump's
We need
tariffs.
that tariff
Let
money
me
to pay
speak,
for.
please. Let me speak, please. The immediate beneficiary of Trump's tariffs are his friends who are in the know about who, when, and what he's going to implement. Right? For example, if he puts a 40%, about 40% tariff on Canadian potash, and then all his friends then sell short in American agriculture business, they make a killing, right? And then the next week, when he removes that tariff, they're in the know and they buy just before the prices go up. Do you think this isn't about rigging the markets?
It is.
Hey, somebody's got to pay for all these $5 trillion in debt.
And we are doing so with tariffs. Tariffs are taxes.
Yeah.
They're taxes.
Right. And that tariff money is going to pay for the rich people that we're going to bail out with $5 trillion again.
You don't get that much.
All right, Jake, go ahead. Good.
Yeah, the other thing to remember, when the stock market crashed in 1929, that's when Herbert Hoover was elected in 1928. In 1929, the stock market crashed. Hoover placed tariffs on all kinds of foreign products, and what happened? It just made the economy worse. So tariffs don't improve the economy; they just tend to make things worse. Sometimes if you have tariffs that are pointed at specific things, it can be helpful, but that's not what Trump is doing.
Well, where's Trump going to get $5 trillion from in the next 5
years?
We need a total overhaul of our taxation system based on different levels of government should tax different things.
Super rich wants their money back, and we got to pay them back. So that's the way he can sneak in. He's going to use all that tariff money to go to the super rich. Huh. What is he going to borrow money? That'll be politically bad.
Do you support a bailout for the super rich? Sounds like you do.
I'm just explaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you that that's what the tariffs money is going to go to. It's going to. Trump promised the super rich $4 or $5 trillion. In the next
then why aren't you against it? You sound like you're on the side of the super rich. Am I misunderstanding something?
Go rich, go.
I don't want to bail out the super rich.
That's how corrupt America is now. That you would have a whole tariff program to pay for tax breaks and bailouts for the super rich.
So let's resist it. That's wrong. That's rigging the market. That's government telling people who to buy from.
Well, we have a corrupt Republican Party and a corrupt president. So what do you expect? It's a shit show. Get used to it for the next.
We need a lot of change. I know it's easier said than done. We need a lot of change, taxes and everything. And yeah, speaking of specific tariffs, we need to talk about labor tariffs. We need to talk about inspection fees. People are saying, "Oh, we need inspection fees to stop, and stop human trafficking." It's like, okay, then why not just argue for inspections and inspection fees? You don't have to levy tariffs on products. Like the products aren't the problem. The trafficking through the the boats and planes and stuff is a problem. And if you want to have targeted tariffs that punish countries that have bad labor practices, there's a thing called labor tariffs. We shouldn't have general tariffs.
I wouldn't doubt it with immigrants that it's a net gain for America to have immigrant labor in this country. I wouldn't doubt it at all. We got about 5, 6 Mexican immigrants that work their butt off in this restaurant, and they do a fine job. And they're probably not making premium money. But I bet you that's the case a lot of places. All your meat processing plants, a lot of your factories, a lot of your manual labor. I mean, I would guess that immigrants are really good for this country.
Good. I'm glad you agree with me on something.
Yes, but how many workers have had their pay slashed because they have to compete with these illegals?
Americans don't want those jobs.
Americans are lazy.
They're so underpaid. The illegal cuts the price of labor. So America cannot do the job at that pay rate.
Americans are too lazy to take tough jobs.
They take the jobs that we're doing. Nobody
Exactly.
Tomatoes or anything.
Yeah.
On the fields.
Everything in your whole vegetable and fruit department.
Nobody's taking your jobs. You just get leftovers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't take your Medicare. We don't take your Section
And
8.
Trump,
we don't take
Trump,
anything.
and Trump hates immigrants.
He's
a racist.
We have 3 jobs. All of the Mexicans have 2, 3 jobs. Okay, nothing is free.
I have lost jobs to illegals. All right.
Because you don't want to get the money that they paid. That's why.
Yeah, because they're willing to do it at half the wage.
Because you guys
Blame-
are lazy.
Blame the unions, Republicans for cutting back on unions, Russ. Unions, the Teamsters would make sure you're making decent money. How many years were you a Teamster? 10? But you make good money as a Teamster.
No.
Well, Mike,
Decent.
you know, consumers always pay the price for tariffs. Imported goods become more
I was
expensive.
just explaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Producers often raise prices because competition's reduced, and it functions like a hidden sales tax, hurting middle and lower income households the hardest.
I'm guessing that. Wait.
They also trigger retaliation. Companies impose counter tariffs. Farmers, manufacturers, and exporters lose access to foreign markets, as explained by China not getting our grain anymore. And retaliation often targets politically sensitive industries, agriculture, autos, and machinery. And unlike you saying they will want to get manufacturing back, they hurt our manufacturing base. Steel tariffs raise costs for automakers and construction firms. Electronics tariffs raise costs for tech manufacturers. Higher input costs make U.S. goods less competitive globally. Tariffs meant to project jobs often destroy more jobs than they save.
I'm just saying it's not that big of a deal. It's only a couple percentages.
Jobs, wait.
How are we going to pay for the tax cuts for the super rich? How are we going to pay for
I'm
bailouts?
against it. We need to get the damn taxes back to them.
Yeah, well, that's what those are for.
All right, anyway.
He's just sitting on that tariff money. You know what he's going to do with it. He's going to write a check to the real rich people.
Now, are you done?
Oh, okay. So what else bothers people about Trump and the Republicans? I named the 2. They lie about, putting us in debt. Republicans always do that. Obama did it, but he got tricked. And the other thing about Republicans and Trump is just the manipulation of the Department of Justice and all the oversight. Because God knows.
All right, I'd like to talk about this.
All right, Charlie, go ahead.
We need oversight.
Sit down. Sit down.
Media sucks.
Go ahead, Charlie.
I spent many years establishing the unions within the federal government of the United States. Trump, as president, came along a few years ago, and he said there was a national emergency. And he said that unions, federal civil service employees, should not have a union because they interfered with the national emergency, the agency that I unionized. He said, oh, and he declared that he also added, he never defined this, but he said constitutionally, unions in the federal government, according to the Constitution, I don't know where, are contrary to the Constitution of the United unconstitutional. Now, what happened was, in 1978, people don't realize this, we had something called like a Wagner Act in federal civil service. It was called the Civil Service Reform Act. And the agencies, various agencies, had to recognize organized labor within the government, and went on for decades. We have contracts all over the place, a highly unionized workforce. And the president came along and said there's a national emergency. Now, I ask you what national emergency there is to give him this authority. Now, you have to be cautious about the word emergency. I don't ever like to see it used in union contract, but it means that management can do whatever they want when a situation of emergency exists. And all labor laws are null and void. Now, it's in the courts right now. But in effect, now the other thing about the federal service was he was doing some rather bizarre things. Various units or departments were called in, and they were given 15 minutes to explain what they did, what was their mission, and what did they accomplish, and so forth. And he had 3 Trump appointees in the agencies, and they would take a vote at the end of 15 minutes, and if they voted no, that department, everybody in it, regardless of what it did or how long they were there, were out of a job. This is how what was going on, incredibly so. They've got to watch out now. The other thing is, how does that affect me? Now, the federal government of the United States is the benchmark. It has to be set the standard for employment conditions in the United States. You may not be aware of this, but what happens to us vitally affects, and the term vitally affects you, every one of you. Now, if he can abolish organized labor and all the benefits and job protections and security that comes with organized labor, he can nullify it. This is a very dangerous situation, because in effect, he's made a declaration of war on organized labor. If he succeeds, it's in the courts. This is a dangerous situation. That's what I mean. Even though we had legislation passed, he said, "To so what?" I leave it up to you, ladies and gentlemen. You could tell me what emergency is that authorizes him, gave him this authority. We talk about power. The term power was used. And there's also a term called excessive abuse of management authority. And that's what you're witnessing right here. And once in a while, we rarely encountered it in the workplace. But amazingly enough, we never saw it at the top. That doesn't mean that administrations were not favorable towards unions in the government. They were openly, certain Republicans were one, but they didn't act in an unusual, wild, intoxicated fashion. Relations were not good. I assure you, they were targeting at one time. They were getting bolder over the years. At one time, they were targeting the old-fashioned thing. Any union official who was identified as representing employees was targeted for disciplinary removal on trumped up charges. And I assure you that was the case. They also got bolder. They were not enforcing the labor laws of the United States. You hear things called unfair labor practices. You could file charges and charges, and the Trump administration, the Republicans before that, would simply not process it. So you never got a court date. That's what I mean. So I just, I don't want to say the sky is falling, folks, but yeah, it appears the clouds are certainly very dark. And that's why, if anything, we've got to stop this approacher, because this is affecting the conditions of employment for everybody in the room and online tonight. That's all. Thank you very much.
All right, Jake, go ahead. Unmute, Jake, you're next. Unmute, Jake, you're next. Jake?
Okay, so you don't know what the national emergency is or what the constitutional thing is that Trump was referring to, huh?
No, I have no idea. We have no idea.
So he didn't explain himself. He just said it's a national emergency and it's unconstitutional. That's all he said. Yeah.
They didn't do all the agencies, but they particularly targeted executive offices. And there's a thing called independent agencies. There was even some agencies that they were given 15 minutes they were given 15 minutes. That's what I mean. He was acting in a wild, intoxicated fashion, Jake. There was one agency, a small one, and they just outright told him, "You're closed now. You got 15 minutes. Thank you very much."
Yep.
All right, who else?
I got something to say.
Go ahead.
Oh, let me add one more thing. There's also a dangerous concept there that they sent in, Trump sent in his representatives into all the agencies. And what they were looking for were people who were disloyal. This is amazing. In order to function as a federal employee, you certainly could not express any disloyalty to the Trump administration. This is where we're at right now. And yeah, Mike, you're entirely correct that there's something wrong in the United States right now when a loyalty oath, federal employees, every federal employee has to stand up and take an oath like the president does on Inauguration Day. You actually have to stand up and raise your hand that you'll be faithful to the Constitution and the laws. But this is not the same as a loyalty oath to the President of the United States. Harken back in history, folks, and who else required of people in their country? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Prego. I'm practicing my Italian. Okay. I didn't get to finish that. America's always had a problem with corruption and crime. Always. Now, what do you do about corruption and crime? You need eyeballs. What are eyeballs? That means a lot of people watching what the hell goes on. I was sitting in Parliament this time 2 years ago in London, and they had a ton of people, tons of seats, watching everything going on. And they're only 125. You hear that, Calvin?
Yeah.
And they only have 25% of the people in that country as America has. But they have 2,000 politicians that keep an eye on stuff and that have power to vote. I'm going to count the Lords as having power.
They don't.
They don't, but they do. Okay, so what does America have? We have 500 crooked politicians in D.C. Okay, in charge of an economy 5 times bigger than the UK. Okay,
Yeah.
What does Trump and the Republicans want? They don't want any oversight. They don't want to stop corruption. They don't want to stop crime.
Like the Democrats do?
Maybe they do too. Yeah. I don't know.
Look at Minnesota.
All I know is the feds have all the money. The states, if you're complaining about Minnesota or Illinois,
Oh, because they have the printing press.
they have the printing press. In fact, that's a big advantage America has, is we have the world printing press. Guess what? America gets in trouble, we just print more money or digitize it. Guess what? Other countries don't. Venezuela can't. They start printing money, then a loaf of bread is going to be $20. So America has that advantage over the whole world because they have a printing press. They print money whenever there's a crash.
The euro, I guess, puts restraints on what some of the countries can do.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Well, the Europeans do everything right now. You know, they're just better managed. So now, speaking of Europeans, you have more politicians. I want more politicians. I'll pay. I'll pay for that.
It's basically 10 times more.
What's that? UK has 70 million people. We have 300 million.
UK has basically 70,000 per district, and while we have 750,000.
Yeah. Did you hear that, everybody? Tim? Calvin, did you hear that?
Yeah, you're painting with very broad strokes here. You know how many full-time politicians? Do you know how many full-time politicians? Excuse me, let me speak, please. Do you know how many full-time politicians Switzerland has?
How many?
12.
That have power to vote?
They have 12 full-time politicians. Most of the legislation is done by most of the legislation is done by referendum.
Yeah, how many people are in Switzerland? About 4 million?
Well,
5 million? All right.
Are we going to listen to this guy all night?
Yes. Get used to it.
Listen, Mike, all you have to do, if you want to increase better service from a representative, is increase the number of employees that a member of Congress has on their staff. Very simply.
No,
allocate.
they have no power.
Listen,
they cannot.
I've been working with Congress. I've been working with Congress for
I've been listening
decades,
to
and you need staff members. That's all.
They're powerless.
We've heard this.
It's going to take a quick break, so keep going.
We've heard this over. It's stupid.
No, your comments are stupid.
It's completely stupid.
All right, so
the state of Illinois reduced. The state of Illinois, with their new constitution, reduced the number of legislators in Springfield. There were too
many.
That's
a bad idea. You need more eyeballs.
All you need are good staff members.
No, they have no power. They have no responsibility.
What are you talking about? What?
The only here, okay, I'll explain it again. 500 people in D.C. have power. They're the only ones that can vote.
Yes.
Staff members are useless. They're happy they got a job out of college.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Sit down.
Right. Okay.
I just looked it up. I just looked it up. Switzerland has roughly the same population as New Jersey or Virginia.
Jersey?
Or Virginia.
9 million.
9?
Yeah.
Basically the size of New York City.
Okay.
All the population of New Jersey or Virginia.
Small potato countries. Backwater countries.
Mike, you please get this guy to sit down. Every time I go to Washington,
Charlie's getting pissed.
Every time I go to Washington, I meet with congressional staffers.
No wonder you never get anything done.
Will you be quiet? And they know the topic, the legislation, the laws.
The only people that have any power are the voters.
Sit down.
Your representatives.
They tell the congressman how to vote.
No, they don't.
You don't understand
bribes. They get kicked.
You have no idea. Sit down. We've had enough nonsense.
All right,
Get out,
and the
get
other
out.
thing that's gone. No, shut up. The other thing that's
No,
going.
more nonsense.
The other thing that's going bad is American media has went to shit. Okay, we basically are controlled by Australia. Rupert Murdoch, is that his name? He runs.
His son is now.
Yeah, he probably thinks the same way, right? So anyway, Trump sits on the couch and watches Fox all day long with all the old people.
And me.
And you?
Yeah,
You
I
watch.
just want you to order. So shut up and go order.
All right, so between bad politicians, not enough eyeballs, and bad media, especially television and internet media, don't trust anything electronic. You know what? I picked up a USA Today the other day, and I go,
Sit down.
well, here,
This is stupid.
shut up.
They know
They go,
what it is.
USA
Stupid.
Today, here's something that I could trust. They have things in writing. It's a record. I can go refer back to that. When you go to the internets or the television, it's like they told you years ago. You can't trust anything on television or internets. But a print, even a USA Today. And you know what they said? USA Today on the front page? They said this Venezuelan murders by America of those boats were murdering fishermen. Front page and print it and read it.
All right, are you?
Sit down. We've heard enough. Tim.
Okay, no, I got something else to say.
The thing
Mike,
is
you've been
that-
up there like 40 minutes.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, get rid
Oh,
of
it spelled
Kelvin,
hot.
let's get this clown off.
Anyway.
The waitress wants him to
Get rid of
order.
him.
He's being a
I got an
fool
order
He's an
tonight.
today.
idiot.
But
We should
it's
let the
print.
waitress talk.
You could trust
Oh, yeah.
print.
Get Erica up there.
You
Yeah,
cannot
okay.
trust internet.
That's a good idea.
Well, the thing
Sit
is, a
down.
fool is not interested in understanding, but only in the revealing of his own mind. You're not ready to understand anything.
I'm taking questions. Who has got a question of me?
No,
Mike,
get
thank
down.
you for-
Kelvin's next.
Thanks
I
for
think
letting us know.
Kelvin agreed with me, I think.
Kelvin's next. Go ahead,
All
Kelvin.
right, okay. This is supplemental to what he said before. This is not particularly about politics per se. This is about what can be done if you get together and things happen when people of different points of view get together for a common goal, right? Now, way back in 1980, I can't remember, I think it was 86, there was a terrible disaster that happened at a football match in Sheffield, in Yorkshire, at Hillsborough football ground. And it was Liverpool versus another team, I can't remember the other team. And 96 Liverpool football supporters were crushed to death in a terrible accident that happened. And it was due, we now know that we all knew anyway, but was finally admitted, it was due mostly because of the incompetence of the people in charge. It was the police that were in charge. There was inadequate medical services involved in this, and 96 people were killed. Now, at that time, immediately afterwards, Rupert Murdoch, particularly, his press, came out in support of the police and emergency services. There was a Conservative government at the time of Margaret Thatcher, and they all rallied round and they sold blatant, absolute, disgusting lies about the supporters who were busy ripping up billboards at the side of the ground to make makeshift stretchers for the fallen people, for their fallen support friends and relatives. And the lies that, in particularly the Sun newspaper, which is the largest selling newspaper in the UK, the Sun newspaper, and it's Rupert Murdoch's flagship in this country, right? So lies about Liverpool supporters robbing the dead and pissing on the dead and all kinds of disgusting lies. So not only did the families have to put up with their grief, but they also had to put up with disgusting pieces of misinformation. regarding this. Now, it took a long time and a lot of campaigning, but finally, about 5 years ago, there was a proper, I think about 6 years ago, there was a full inquest on this, which everybody was heard, and the truth came out about the incompetence of the police. What happened basically is there was pressure on them to let people in because they were delayed because of traffic problems, and they opened the exit gates and let people swarm into the ground, and that's what caused the crush. Right now, following the campaign, following the disgusting lies that Rupert Murdoch's press did about the people that were supporting and helping the victims in this tragedy, right? There was a campaign in my city, Liverpool, to boycott the Sun newspaper. Mothers and aunties went round every single one. First, there was a campaign for you not to buy the Sun, and then they went round every single newspaper vendor, from the largest one, from Walmart, to the small mom and pop bodega on the streets, and asked every one of them not to stock the Sun newspaper. There are alternatives, you can buy other alternatives, but to this day, you cannot buy the Sun newspaper in my city.
That's a shame. I can't believe I trust the USA Today.
Okay.
Now, Murdoch thinks these people in power think they are untouchable. But when we get together, and it's possible, we can do something.
I'm not sure.
You're right there, Kelvin. All right.
Trust print.
Okay, I'm
Electronics.
gonna give another little bit of rebuttal, and I think this one will close us out.
Wait a minute. I just ordered some food.
Yeah, I know.
I want to speak again.
Let me.
Enough of you.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
The food will be part of the rebuttal.
Yeah, I know. I just asked ChatGPT a question, and I asked it, why should we continue the College of Complexes? I mean, we're planning on taking our last lecture here in February, and some of the reasons why we should continue it. It preserves real free speech and not algorithmic speech. Most political discussions today is filtered by social media algorithms, moderation policies, and ideological bubbles. The College of Complex is a face-to-face, uncensored human. People speak their own voices, not in 280-character outrage bursts. This alone makes it rare and valuable. It encourages intellectual cross-pollination. Unlike partisan clubs or activist meetings, the forum allows contradictory views in the same room, values questioning over winning, rewards depth over slogans. This is how ideas actually improve. Many political movements and philosophies historical began in informal salons, taverns, and cafes, not institutions. Build civic muscles that we're losing. Democracy requires skills most people no longer practice. Listening without interrupting, disagreeing without demonizing, and defending an idea under pressure. A weekly forum is a training for citizenship, not just talks. It creates local community in a fragmented era. Dappers isn't just a venue, it's a neutral ground. It's familiar, it's non-academic, and non-corporate. People return because they've seen, remembered, and challenged in an age of isolation. This kind of consistent civic gathering is rare and stabilizing. It allows complex thinking in a binary political culture. Modern politics produces false binaries, left versus right, good versus evil, us versus them. And the College of Complexes explicitly rejects simplicity. It creates space for mixed views, uncertainty, and evolution of thought. It's a low in cost and high impact. No bureaucracy, no funding apparatus, no gatekeepers. Just people, a table, and conversation. And somewhat it documents the political mood of its time. If recorded, summarized, or archived, these discussions become a living record of public thought, a grassroots intellectual history, a counterweight to elite narratives. Future historians don't study tweets; they study character. They study conversations. If free speech can't survive in a restaurant once a week among neighbors, it won't survive anywhere. Then they went on to ask it, what key reasonings for continuing what matters? Protects and practices real freedom of expression. It encourages diverse perspectives, preserves an important tradition of civic discourse, supports community engagement, and documents thought across time. The college complex deserves to continue because it practices free speech in a real, unfiltered format, fosters civic dialogue across viewpoints, preserves a historic tradition of public debate, builds local engaged communities of thoughtful citizens, and creates an archive of grassroots public thought. And the thing is, what happens when we have a moderator and a creator who are feeling somewhat burned out? And here's where it really hits me hard, because walking away hands the room to the loudest, not the wisest. Free speech forums don't usually collapse at once. They drift towards repetition, grandstanding, ideological capture, or one in two dominant personalities. A moderator's presence, even a light one, acts as structural gravity. It sets tone, reminds people of standards, and provides empathy. Moderation is not ownership. Burnout often comes from the false belief, if I don't carry this, then it dies. That's not leadership, it's martyrdom. We need to continue to participate without owning everything. It breaks unhealthy dependency, forces others to step up, and restores balance. And you're allowed to downshift from engine to compass. Because if the forum still works on you, even when it exhausts you, even burned out moderators and keepers of the college usually admit one thing. They still think more clearly after the meeting. They still sharpen arguments there. They still hear something unexpected. Participation isn't just service. It's industrial hygiene. Few places allow you to say a half-formed thought out loud, get challenged immediately, and revise without being canceled. That's rare. Don't discard it lightly. Because stepping back is different from disappearing. There are three modes, not two. You can carry it, which is a high burnout risk, participate lightly, which is sustainable, and leave entirely for loss of influence. Most burned out moderators jump from number one to number three. Number two is almost healthier. You can speak less, enforce fewer rules, let silences happen, and allow us. Because history shows, too, that these spaces matter later, not now. The College of Complexes in similar formats often feel repetitive, underattended, underappreciated, until they're remembered as one of the last places people actually talked. A record of how ideas evolved and a civic artifact. Because you don't have to believe it in every week. Burnout assumes motivation must be constant. It doesn't. You can show up out of habit, out of duty, out of curiosity, even out of mild annoyance. A reframing often helps. Instead of asking, why should I keep doing this? Try, what is the minimum presence I can offer that still keeps the door open? That question reduces burnout immediately. And a grounded closing thought. Free speech doesn't die from opposition. It dies from fatigue amongst the stewards. And I'd like Charlie to comment on my comments, if he doesn't mind, please.
Yeah, I will comment. Somebody made a personal attack against me and posted it on social media. I asked him to tell the person to take it down. It is still up there as far as I know. If you're going to take personal attacks, we've got rules. And if your moderator doesn't enforce the rules, why do this? And forget that. Now, I could go on about a few things. But if you're allowed to do things outside of the college that is harmful to another person, a personal attack, and you permitted it, Tim. You permitted it. Well, forget it. Then we don't have any. Don't announce those silly rules.
Can you please
Because
direct
it's
your comments
meaningless.
towards me? Because I'm the person that you're upset with.
Did you
Don't take this out
post
on
it?
Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Yeah,
broke
don't
the
take it out
rule.
on Tim. Tim didn't do anything wrong.
No, you.
The College of Complexes rules do not apply outside of 5 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, no, okay, they don't. So get lost, pal.
You're
They
trying to
sure
destroy
don't
this.
do.
You're
No
trying to destroy
personal
this free
attacks
speech forum.
means no personal attacks. There's no loophole.
I didn't attack you. I
Yes,
didn't
you
attack
did.
you.
You named me in it. You're
That's
a
not an
fucking
attack.
liar.
That's not an attack. You just
You're a
called me a
goddamn
liar.
son of a bitch. Who's a you went
And now you're
outside.
cursing me out.
You took it outside the college.
You're
And I'm not
personally
gonna have
attacking
my
me right
good
now.
name defamed
You are
by an
personally attacking
asshole
me
like
right now.
you. You
I
fucking
heard you
lost
say
loser.
you kiss your mother with that mouth. It's not appropriate. You're
Yeah,
very
well,
rude.
that's too bad. Get lost, pal.
You're extremely rude. Okay, you're destroying this
Yeah,
college.
I'm rude. Well, I don't break the rules of the college.
The rules don't apply outside of the college. You're a
Yeah,
fascist.
according to you, there's no rules.
No, one point at a
rules.
time. You're
Sit
personally attacking me.
if
You just
want.
cursed me out. You
So
just
I have
cursed
a
me
fight
out. That's
outside of the
extremely rude.
restaurant. Yeah,
They don't apply
you're
outside
a
the
loser,
restaurant.
pal.
You're attacking
Yeah,
me. You call
get
me a
lost.
loser. You're calling me names. Yeah, I can't say
Yeah,
genocide
you
Joe,
are a
but
loser.
you can call me a loser.
Stupid name calling, dumbing down the college.
I think that Charlie didn't even hear a word I said on my rebuttal.
What did you do? I'm looking for what you did. You did nothing.
Well, Charlie, I did talk to
And
Joe about
this idiot justifies it. Kept up with some justification.
Stop name calling me. You're
defaming
calling me
for a
names. I'm not
personal
calling you
attack.
names. You're
He
calling me
went
names. That's a
overboard.
personal attack.
and this
You
is why
keep it. You keep it within the confines of the college. You could say whatever you want, not outside.
Can I?
Fool.
I can't. I don't think I can without you cursing me out and
No,
calling me names, shutting me down.
no. Don't you know? You broke our rules. What do you get that in your head? Is it
I
too
did
hard
not
for you to
personally.
understand?
I did not personally attack you.
You're
You have
welcome to
cursed
get
me
up
out
to the
several
podium.
times in the last
You're
few
welcome
minutes. You're an
to get up to
extremely
the
rude
podium
man.
and
You're old and
say
you're
whatever
bitter.
you want.
Hey, is there a referee
You
here?
say
This is a useless argument. Take it outside the college. We don't need to waste our time with this.
Well, tell them to take it down.
Well, Charlie, it is a free speech forum, and if you can't
Let's
take
get
the
up
heat,
and
you gotta
go.
get it.
That's bullshit. It's a
The thing
thing.
is, Charlie,
He
Watch
targeted
your
me.
mouth.
it's a free speech forum, even here. And if
No,
you
it's
go
got to
on,
be at the podium.
we do keep a lot of it at the podium,
A
but
lot of it, all of it.
a free press
Like
also
Vegas, what stays
changes
stays
too.
here.
I just see a guy who can't take
And
it.
you didn't enforce the rules. You did not enforce the
I
rules.
Don't
You're
think so,
personally
Charlie.
attacking me right now, Charlie. You just called me several names. That's
Yeah,
personal
because you broke
attacks.
the rules. If you didn't break the rules, I wouldn't talk about you.
So I
think-
broke a rule, so you get to break the rules too? Sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
Who's breaking the rules?
No,
I didn't
think
post
that Charlie
anything on
can't
social
take-
media.
can't take any-
This is a
Send me an
useless
email.
argument. Take it outside the college.
Why should I?
Okay.
Why should I, Jake?
Okay, Jake, go ahead. You got the floor, Jake.
This,
Go ahead.
this is a waste of time. I didn't come here to listen to two people brawling it out. It's a waste of time.
Okay.
Waste of time to you, Jake, but you're not. There's not something on social media.
This is a waste of time. Take it outside the college. It has nothing to do with me.
That's what he did. He took it outside the college, Jake.
Yes, I did.
You're not supposed to.
Who says? Do I get to say? Do I get to tell you what you're allowed to
don't
say
come
and
to
what
the
you're not allowed to say
college.
outside of the
If you
college?
can't follow our rules, stay home.
You just called me names.
Simple.
You're breaking the rules over and over again. No one is on your
Well,
side
I'm
on this.
not.
You're trying to destroy this
I
college.
didn't post anything on social media.
Well, maybe you should roast me. I
Maybe
don't
I
care.
should.
Call me whatever name you want. Go
Oh,
ahead.
that'd be good.
Make a video.
Boy, that would
You
help the
can't offer a
college.
counter argument about why vaccines are good. So you try to shut me down and silence me, and you call Andy and me names. What the hell?
Yeah, because you're breaking the rules. Get that in your little head.
I
Charlie,
didn't break any
when we're at the
rules.
forum, it's
And
one
that guy
foot at
there
a time.
didn't
No
follow,
personal
didn't
attacks.
enforce it.
Outside the forum, if they want to blast you, I don't care.
You don't care, but I do.
Well, the thing is, then you go to Joe and you blast it out with him on social media.
Oh, what
then.
are you talking about? And you allow it?
Well,
you
the
can
thing
get
is,
lost.
I can't police
You can
everybody.
get lost.
The
Get
thing is,
lost. You're worthless.
well, Charlie, I think
You're a
that
man
might
of
be,
character.
this
Go to
might
church
be the main
tomorrow.
reason that college
Go
is
to
not
church
attending
tomorrow
anymore.
and say, oh, you can sin. What are you talking about?
Can we talk
That's
about something of
ridiculous.
substance? Let's talk about
Well, I
something of
think-
substance instead of personal
Yeah,
gripes.
why don't you
I
why
wanted
don't
to
you
bring
follow
to
the
the
rules,
point.
pal?
I wanted to bring the point up of this, okay?
We never
I-
had that in 35, 40 years I've been with the
Take
college.
a look at some of the stuff.
Never
that was-
saw anything like that. Never.
Yes, there has been.
I'm allowed
There
to
has
use your
been.
name
Where?
and criticize.
Emails?
You're allowed to use
Among
my
each
name and
other?
criticize.
Social media is different, pal. And you broadcast it out there.
How is social
You
media
know what
different?
broadcast means? Do you know what
So
broadcast
what?
means? People who don't even know me. I have a professional
Who
reputation.
cares? Nobody
Who
cares,
cares? I
Charlie.
care.
And you're using your reputation to destroy this college and silence people.
Yeah, you destroyed it. You.
Charlie, you know, you're one of the first people who violates the rules here. You interrupt and you constantly.
You did not. We're talking serious rule breaking. You did nothing. Zero. You think it's okay?
See if I didn't think he broke a rule.
You
That's
think it's
why.
all post something on Facebook that you're a loser.
Charlie, you're a
that?
fucking baby. You're a baby and you can't handle being criticized because you don't have a
Acting
counter
like
argument.
Trump, Charlie. You're acting just
Would
like
you like
Trump.
that? Would
And
you
Kerry
like
even
that?
says it. You're the worst violator here. Kerry
Oh,
just said it.
Charlie.
I'm the worst.
Okay, can we adjourn this? This is a waste of time.
I think so. Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming tonight. I didn't mean to open a can of worms, but my last point was that in February, our schedule on the 7th ends. What I'd like to see happen is I'm still willing to come in. I'm still willing to help book speakers. And I know there's other people wanting to help out. If Charlie's agreeable to continuing the forum with help, we'd be more than happy to continue it. And if Charlie is,
You know what you need to do? You know what you have to do to get me to agree to use the name? Get that down now. Now.
What down?
I'm
What do
going
we
to
have
look
to do?
tomorrow if it's still up.
What do we have to do? No, I'm not taking it down.
Get your thing down and say, I'm sorry.
Hey,
It wasn't intentional.
Slim
and it won't happen
Brundage,
again.
Slim Brundage founded this college, not you. You don't.
Don't tell me about Slim Brundage.
You don't own my
I
mouth.
knew.
You do
don't
not
know
own my
anything.
mouth, and you don't.
You
tell me
showed
what
up
to do.
at the college and you broke the rule.
You break
I
the
don't-
rules all the time. You curse people out and you silence them. You call people names. You tell people to go fuck themselves. You're
At
disgusting.
the
and you're rude.
college.
That's
People don't care about social media.
all right, guys. With this, Kelvin, do you want to wrap this up for us
No,
tonight?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Mike, get up there and give us some good closing remarks, please, and adjourn us. We'll let Mike close us out tonight.
All right,
You want to close us out tonight then?
I guess I will.
Go ahead.
I can, but I want to.
Well, we're gonna have Russ close us out then. All right, Russ, you get the last word tonight. Hopefully it's something.
Her words. I have supported tariffs, but when it comes to Canada and Mexico, because of the NAFTA and then MCA, that we should not put any tariffs on them. Tariffs are fine, and then when you enter free trade agreements, that removes tariffs. I would like to also say, to listen to you two, Charlie and Joe, is like looking at a couple of preschoolers on the playground. You're both whack. And then I say, We're adjourned.
All right. Thank you guys very much for coming. That's it. We'll see you guys in 3 weeks after our holiday break. Kelvin, thanks for coming. Carrie, thanks for coming.
Good night.
Jake, thanks for coming. Charlie, thanks for coming. All of you guys have a good night, and we'll see you very soon. Take care, gentlemen.